Recording in progress. I'm going to approve these other ones. And let me just say hello to everyone. This is Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor here at Samson, along with my little cardinal, because if you know, you know. Anyway, I want to welcome you today. Today, we are going to be talking about kicking off the learning trails and what you need to be doing next. So, as you probably have heard me say a dozen times over, we have been working, or I have been working since day one that I came on board with Samson to create the learning trails. After training thousands and thousands of agents, I have been heartbroken and got tired of seeing agents running around like a chicken with their head cut off, not knowing which class to go to, or they run off to one class because somebody said, oh, this is a really good class. You need to go to this one. And they go, but they have no concept as to how that information fits into the puzzle of their real estate business. So as we get started, I want you to think about or envision a puzzle. If you're going to put together a puzzle that has about 100 pieces, the first thing you're going to do is take it out of the box and dump it on the table. That is what most brokerages do, is dump it on the table and say, here's all of our training. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. And the first question that they're asking is, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Why am I getting in trouble? And why do I have no business? So what I have always wanted to do is to put this together in order so that we can methodically walk our agents through where they need to start, what comes next, why that is important, then what comes next, why is that important, what comes next, why is that important. So this is what we have finally arrived at. So we have it. In a minute, I'm going to do a screen share and show you where it can be found at, and then also let you know that it will be being added to the Cardinal Nest on the drop-down box on the left-hand side. They're going to add the tab under education for my stuff. And I don't know if they're going to mirror my site or how they're going to do it. They're working out the mechanics of that right now. But we're going to talk through this a little bit, and then I'm going to show you exactly where you can find it immediately, if not sooner. So envision the puzzle. You've got all the pieces spread out on the table in front of you. What's the first thing you do if you're going to put a puzzle together is you squish them all around, turn them all upright so you can see the front of them. And then you scan through it and you find the corners. Typically, how many corners does a puzzle have? 4. So you have your 4 corners. And then you go through your pile and find all the pieces of the puzzle that have a flat line, which creates the edge of the puzzle. All right, making sense? Everybody envisioning that with me? Okay. You start putting that together first before you start adding in all the other pieces. So how this relates to our learning trails is this is why Jumpstart sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the foundation that everything else starts getting built off of. So the 4 corners of the puzzle equal the 4 sessions of Jumpstart. The tasks that are in each Jumpstart session relate to the border that's going to connect you from one to the other corner. So Jumpstart session 1 is going to have 28 pieces of the puzzle that need to be put down in order for the business and the puzzle to make sense. So that's where we're going to have you start, is Jumpstart session 1. Now, even if you're a seasoned agent and have come on to Samson, Donnie has said this multiple times. If he could make Jumpstart mandatory, he would. Now, I do know that a lot of our brand new agents that are in the mentoring program, a lot of them are required by their mentor to complete, not just listen to, but complete the Jumpstart 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I'll tell you, When I've had agents who have been in the business already for 20, 25, 30 years, and they still listen to Jumpstart or go through Jumpstart and come back and go, oh my God, I never knew that. I forgot about that. Or no one's ever taught that like that before. That tells us that even a seasoned pro like Kevin, who I see on here, is going to learn something. When Kevin came on to Samson, I mean, Kevin went to 2 or 3 sessions of Jumpstart when I was out in the field doing them live and before they got recorded. So, and he was still picking up ideas and things of, oh my God, I haven't heard that, or I forgot that, or oh, I didn't know that. So it doesn't matter if you're brand new or you're seasoned. This is where we're going to ask you to start. Now, the best way to go through all of this is to not just listen to it. So I want you to clear everything out of your way. You will print out the handout that goes with the session. You will sit down and you will listen to a section. Then you will stop and you will do the task. When you're done, you go back, listen, stop, do the task. Listen, stop, do the task. Listen, stop, do the task. Now, if you're a seasoned agent, you may look at that and I'm going to say, for example, your email or your domain name. If you're already a seasoned agent, you may go, okay, I already got those. Good. Would you give it a 5 on the scale of 1 to 5? Awesome. Then you go on to the next. But if you're stopping and you go, well, I already done that, then ask yourself, how well have I done it? Can it be done any better? And if it can, freshen it up, update it. You've got it. You're ready to go. And then you're able to put the next piece down and build off of it. Okay. So you will work your way through Jumpstart session 1, get those 28 pieces lined up. Now you've got a start of a foundation that we can continue to build off of. Jumpstart session 2, the other corner, the side pieces going down in Jumpstart session 2 are about 20 pieces of the puzzle that need to be in place and ready to build off of. So again, listen, stop, do. Listen, stop, and do. If you've listened to it and you stopped and said, okay, I've done that, how well have I done it? Can I make it any better? Is it good? Is it in place? If it needs a quick, spit shine on it, then spit shine it and be ready to go to the next piece of the puzzle. Okay, so now you've built down your side. Jumpstart session 3 is about your database. And I still boggle my mind when agents don't have a database. Now, I'm going to pause right here and complete and total confession. I don't care what program or platform you use. I don't care if you want to use Bull Trails, Lofty, or if you say I've used Top Producer or All Clients or any of the other major programs that are out there that you've used for a long time. If you're comfortable with them and it's doing what you want it to do, stick with it. If you're newer going, I am not that techie and I'm not ready to go down that rabbit hole, but you've got, let's say, a Gmail or an Outlook account, for right now, I'm okay with that too. You can still sort and flag and tag your database entries that we teach in Jumpstart 3 in whatever platform you're using. Now, this past week, we had an event up in Herndon, and 4 of our company's mega producers were on a panel. And one of the questions that was asked to them was about their database and how they stayed in touch with and followed up with prospects that were out there. What I was flabbergasted but thrilled to hear, the 4 of them all used different styles, but it worked for them. Case in point, one says, I have manila folders. I put their name on it. And then I can sort my folders based off who my prospects are, who I need to follow up with. I've got my notes inside. He says, I probably have more manila folders than anybody should ever have. But that is how he managed his database and his contacts for years, and he's okay with it. The second one on the panel says, oh my God, she's been in for about 20 plus years. I think more than that, probably close to 30. Mega producer. She uses a CRM. She's been coaching with Brian Buffini forever in a lifetime. She's used a CRM forever in a lifetime. She knows exactly how many contacts are in her database and knows who she needs to follow up with or check back with if it's been 5 years or more that they've owned their house. So that's how she works it. And it tells her every morning, because she's got them tagged and flagged, who she needs to reach out and follow up to. Works for her. The next one on the panel, again, well-loved mega producer, kind of started giggling and she goes, I don't use any of it. She's got the contacts in her phone. And so that's how she's done it. But she did say that she finally downloaded it and put it into an Excel spreadsheet. And we all, giggled and applauded. But again, that is what has worked for her. And there you go. The fourth one on the panel, I'm thinking, I'm waiting for this answer. She has a little notebook. And in her notebook, when she talks to somebody, they get a page. And then she will make a note of when she needs to follow up them regarding what, whether it's a week from now, a month from now. She'll put little, notations up in the upper corner. So as she's flipping through it, she can, it'll jump out at her. But she uses the notebook. And I thought, here there's 4 superstar agents all using a different platform. But the bottom line, they have a system that allows them to stay in touch. So if the technology of Bold Trails or the technology of Lofty is just like getting your head to explode, I'm okay with where you're at. Start and bloom where you are planted. We can always, 6 months or a year from now or whenever, upload it and upgrade it into a full CRM when you are ready to tackle that. But don't sit back and say, well, I can't do that because I don't have this program or this program. Based off these 4 superstars, there is no, right or wrong. Well, the wrong is not having anything, not doing anything. But the right is whatever works for you. Now, I like to use my technology, but there's still a big part of me. I'm sorry. When it comes to my calendar, I am still old school. And every time I end up diverting back to a paper calendar. That's just me. I try to keep a little bit of a digital one as well, but my nitty gritty is on a paper calendar. And now I did have a database that I had everybody in, and I still have that database that I've had for 20 years. And I've now just converted it over for our agents, and I enter our agents into it. Okay. So that is Jumpstart session 3. So that's the third corner of your puzzle, building out. So what comes next? The next piece of the puzzle we need to put together is that 4th side. That 4th side is Jumpstart session 4. It is all about the marketing department of your business. The marketing department, we give you and share with you 24 marketing options. Once you have listened to it and looked at the handout, we ask you, okay, so now we kind of explained it, and we use the analogy of how many tires are on your car? Probably 4. How many legs are on the chair that you are currently sitting on? Probably 4. Why? Balance and stability. When you have 4 specific marketing pillars, you are able to stay focused and work those systems to the max of their ability. I was listening to Jason Shepherd the other day, and he was saying that their team's philosophy is do more, do it better before you throw the baby out with the bathwater. So if you've got a system that you're starting to work on and you want it to be produce more results, you don't just kick it to the curb and go try something else because it sounds like a fun thing to do. You do it more of it and you do a better job at it until you can't do any more and it can't be any better. Then you can add on a second, third, or fourth component to the marketing department of your business. And again, without having that in place, I'm sorry, agents are all over the place. They're bouncing around like a pinball game. Oh, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try this. Well, so-and-so said this worked, and this worked, and this worked, and this worked. And I just go, stop, slow down and stop. Again, we've got people that are knocking social media out of the park. I've got others that will come to me and say, I took all day and I created a TikTok and I created this and I posted and I've got 5,000 followers on TikTok. Okay, that's great. But how many of that 5,000 are right here in your backyard? Oh, I don't think there's many. Well, then what good was that? I mean, I know it's fun, but you've got to really put your laser focus on as to who are you wanting to market to. And this is all covered in Jumpstart 4. Who are you going to market to? What is the message? What is their pain point? Which is why we give you the mission statement of when your home no longer meets your needs, I'm here to help. Because I don't care how cute your picture is. I don't care how cute your marketing material is. They will not buy or sell until their current home no longer meets their needs. And then they will sell and move on to something that is better suited for whatever chapter of life they're in. There you go. That's marketing 101. And so that is why we take such a deep dive into that component of your business. Because without all four of those lined out and structured, I'm sorry, you're asking me to do the impossible. You are asking me to put a roof on the house and you don't have any foundation to it. You don't have the side walls up. So we've got to put this together in order. Okay. So now if you're a new agent, you've gone through this, if you're a seasoned agent, you've gone through, refresh, make sure you've got it all figured out and ready to go. And probably on sessions 3 and 4 of the database and the marketing, that is where I get the most agents come back, seasoned agents, to go, oh my God, nobody ever taught me that. Where were you 20, 30 years ago? Okay. So once you have completed, now you have your puzzle in front of you. You've got the 4 corners up. You've got the side pieces all in. You've done the task. You know what we've needed you to know how to do so that we can go to our next step. So now you've got your database mapped out. In the learning trails step or session number 5 is knowing what to say to those in your database. So we've broken it down in the best one-liners and conversation starters, 2 classes. In the best one-liners, I even give you a 5-page, 4, like a postcard, 4 up, that is ready to print. And those can serve as your flashcards to help you if you need it. Okay. So the best one-liners are what to ask, what's a conversation starter, how to handle almost any question or that comes up. Then it's how do you do a better follow-up? Again, we're trying to keep you from going down the wrong rabbit hole and burning a bridge and wasting time by saying the wrong thing to the wrong person, the wrong message to the wrong target. So that's why that is number 5 and 6 on your learning trails next step. You need to get comfortable. Now, if you know, I have a love-hate relationship with scripts because scripts work really well when the other person has the script in front of them. But most of the time, when you're talking to somebody, they don't have the script and they don't play by the game. And then you get all frustrated because they didn't answer the way your script said they were supposed to answer. And then you don't know what to say after that. I want to be able to give you some talking points. And that is why the conversation starters and the best one-liners are talking points. And with a certain, structure, key things to say or to ask, which will generate conversation. So that is 5 and 6 on your learning trails. All right. So you got that down. You've got that mastered. You've got your little flashcards. You've got them in the car. So when you're at a stoplight, you need to just kind of, pick one and repeat it over and over again. You're good. You got it. Now, what I would do is on those best one-liner conversation flashcards is I would take one a day. And every time you stop at a stoplight, not a stop sign, stoplight, or have a moment, or if you're watching something and a commercial comes on, take that moment in time to run that one question over and 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 over again in your head for one day. It will embed in there. Next day, go to the next one. Same thing, over and 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 over again. All right. Now, it reminded me of a cute story I want to share with you because I like to share my little stories every once in a while with you. Years ago, many years ago, I danced. I did ballet and jazz and tap and baton. And I remember when I was in college, I had the opportunity to attend a class of a woman that danced with Rudolph Nourier, who was a well-known worldwide ballet dancer back in the day. And what she learned from him was if he was kicking back and watching TV, this is before VCRs and all the fast forward stuff, every time a commercial came on, he would stand up and he would do one particular move or whatever it is he was working on. So that would be for a minute or 2 minutes because that was as long as the commercials were. When the commercials were over, he would sit back down, put his feet back up, relax, and go back to watching the program. Next commercial, he'd get up and do the same thing, same move over and over again. So the time he got done with his TV watching session, he had also mastered the fine-tuning skill of that particular move or that turn or whatever it was that was on his focus for that day. Same thing. So kind of cool. There you go. All right. So you've got that down. Now, in the process of those conversations and having the right question, the right message, you may actually screw up and get somebody that says, I'm glad you asked because no, my home doesn't meet my needs anymore. I'd really like to talk to you about buying or selling. So now you've got to do a buyer or a seller consultation, which is why the buyer and the seller consultation training is number 7 and 8 on our learning trails checklist. Again, that will, I would say, take an entire week on your buyer and your seller consultation. So the first thing you will do is you will download the sample. You will listen to the buyer consultation or the seller consultation, whichever one you're working on. You will make notes on your handout. You will highlight the bullet points of that, and that is what you will use to practice. During that week, you will do a mock buyer or seller consultation every day, at least once a day, to the dog, to the cat, to the baby, to the squirrel out at the feeder, to the birds out at the bird feeder and the bird bath, to the wall. I don't care. You can get another agent to run it with you as well. But you will do a complete buyer or seller consultation every day for an entire week, even if it's done with yourself. I lovingly and jokingly say if my dogs could talk, they could rattle off a buyer and seller consultation. And you don't want to be just looking at it once you go through the training and video of it, then you will actually do it out loud. Okay. You really want to nail it, record it. Now you can go have your free Zoom account, which in Jumpstart Session 1, we have you set up, the free one. You can actually record it through that Zoom, just you and the computer, and you can record it and then go back and listen to it. Yeah, that's a shocker. So you will focus an entire week on your buyer, full week on your seller consultation. You will then take a few minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you will take a couple of pages and you will make sure they're customized for you in your footprint, add or subtract what you need and want, and you've got your buyer and seller consultation done. All right. So if it's needed, you've got it. Gang, there is nothing worse than having an agent that's been in for a while, has not gotten any training, or they've just kind of been flitting around, and all of a sudden they've got a potential buyer or seller and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to cover. And they're like, I don't know what. Well, you know what? Poor planning on your part doesn't constitute an emergency on ours. I actually said that out loud, didn't I? Okay. So there you have it. Be prepared. Be prepared. You are expecting a buyer or a seller to entrust you with the biggest financial purchase of their life. Hear my heart, forgive my mouth, because this one comes. You don't have the right to screw it up. You don't have the right to go in not knowing what you're doing. Be prepared. Be ready and comfortable to sit down and do the most amazing buyer and seller consultation. I should be able to call you at 2 o'clock in the morning from a dead sleep, tell you, okay, pull your buyer consultation out, go to page 4 and give me the rundown. You should be able to do it without thinking twice. Then when you're done cussing me out underneath your breath, you can hang up on me. Okay. But you should be that comfortable in a buyer or a seller consultation and have one copy at the ready at all times. Because the minute you don't have it ready, you don't know what the key talking points are, don't have one generic one printed out, is when somebody's going to call you that says, oh my God, we just had a family emergency. I need to move to Texas. I need to list the house immediately. How fast can you get here? And oh, by the way, you're thinking, okay, I'll bring my consultation, which you have to do, by the way. And that is when the internet's going to go down. Your computer is then going to want to reboot itself. Your printer is going to go offline. You're going to either run out of paper or ink, and then the printer is going to jam, and you're in a panic mode because Murphy's Law has kicked in and all these things have happened, and you're trying to get out the door to save this potential transaction. Be ready. Be ready. Be ready. In case you went to sleep, I'll say that one more time. Be ready. Be prepared. Okay. So that's why the seller and the buyer consultation are up in the top 10. All right. So the next step, after you got those two things done, the next step, the next week, you would go into the how to leverage the newsletter, the free reports, and your website. Now, hopefully, you've already kind of been made familiar with those through the previous session of Jumpstart. But if not, that is where you're going to go. Make sure your website is active. You're going to make sure that it's color branded if you want, because in Jumpstart 1, you decided what your color branding was going to be. And then you've got that updated, or you've gone to Will and have gotten some help. You know that there are free reports available for you in our Cardinal Nest. You know how to get them. And if not, you know that we have a how-to instruction tab. So how do I find the newsletter? How do I find the free reports? How do I wipe my nose? How do I change the color on my website? We've got all those things. And the how-to instructions are going to be mirrored to the session or the week that we're introducing it to you. So if you need to go find it, it's going to be just as quick. You don't have to hunt around for it. Okay. So we're going to make sure that you've got your newsletter, your reports, and your website up and going. Because again, you're going to be talking to people. You want to send them to your website, blah, 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 blah. There you go. Newsletters, definitely one of the biggies. The next one in your learning trails, we're going to make sure that you are introduced to how to merge free reports with your tip of the month and then leverage it when you're ready with a vendor. And you're thinking, okay, that's all fine, but back to Jumpstart session 3, we talk about your database and the components or the categories that need to be within your database. If you do not have other vendors, and we've even taught you the verbiage to call and ask your SOI who they have used for repairs around the house, you can't build this one out because you got a big hole and a gap because you haven't completed the steps in Jumpstart Session 3 so that we can build you out. Okay? All right. So you're going to get some additional fine tuning of how to use your free report as a tip of the month. Because ideally, your newsletter goes out to them the first of the month. Your tip of the month goes out around the 15th. And you only need to touch in with them with a call or a check in. I'm going to say about every quarter. Much more than that, it's going to start driving them crazy. Now, let me pause for a second as well. One of the reasons we make sure that you've got your website up and you've actually gone and looked at your website and have actually activated where it says home value, you put your home in there. You put your email in there. You now are starting to see what the consumer will get. So you will be more comfortable driving people to your site to start getting that information. One of the other bonuses that we wiggled in here is you need to know about Real Scout. The reason you need to know about Real Scout is because when, okay, you've got all your tools lining up, you've got your best one-liners, you've got your conversation starters, you've got your buyer consultation ready, you find someone who may be thinking about buying, you want to set them up in Real Scout. It needs to be done in order because that is how our brains function. Our brains function in a methodical, step by step by step by step. So how many, quick show of hands or a thumbs up, how many of you have a car and drive a car? Give me thumbs up, okay? So you know that you need to have your key with you. You go to the car, you unlock the car, you get in the car, you get settled in, get your seatbelt on, push your foot on the brake and push the button and start your car. You don't go to the car and put the car in reverse first. It's got to be done in order. So it's the same logic. Our brains are struggling to put everything in order, in sequential order, but yet this is where the real estate industry has failed most agents. But not anymore. And Samson, to my knowledge, is the only one that is offering this step by step. Okay. All right. So now you've got all that in place. And again, that may take you a week, or that may take you a day, whatever, however fast you want to go. The next class that we were going to introduce you to is how to create that wow factor, which is going to help secure and strengthen your referral-based business. Because even as a brand new agent, you can still get a referral from someone. So in that session, we give you all kinds of things that an agent could and should be doing to create that wow factor to increase the odds of a repeat and referral opportunity. Okay, so that's important. That's why we've got that up there as well. All right, the next one in your learning trails is to take you into common mistakes that agents make. Now, yes, we've done a whole class on it. Yes, it's been recorded, but also too, on my website, we have all the individual 23, 24, 25, whatever it is, sessions that are only like 3 to 5 minutes long of common mistakes agents make. Now, I have always compiled that list. And so when I came and got settled in at Samson, I thought, okay, we need to bring this one to the table as well. And I went through and, revisited my list, kind of make sure it was, still current and updated. There's any new things we needed to put on there or anything to take off. But then I started taking a look at it. So with each common mistake, what does Samson do, or what does Samson provide to make sure that our agents have a safety net so they don't fall down that rabbit hole. And so when I've done the full class, I said, okay, common mistake number one is this, this, and this. And here is what Samson has for you so that you don't have to make that same mistake and learn the hard way. We're going to put the pieces of the puzzle together for you. Okay. All right. So that's common mistakes agents make. And again, you can go back to that anytime you want and have a good giggle as well. All right. So then in session 13 is building out the marketing department after you have completed Jumpstart session 4. So now that you've gone through 4, you've picked your 4 pillars, this class is going to show you how to break down and market, whether it's Monday through Friday or every Monday you work on your database, every Tuesday you work on your for sale by owners, every Wednesday you work on something different. So it can either be done week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, or the Monday, the Tuesdays, the Wednesdays, the Thursdays. We give you that concept of how to actually now execute each of your 4 pillars without losing your sanity. There you go. All right. So the next group of classes come in. It's also, this is what is tied into our 230 class of Master Your Marketing. Once you have done your Jumpstart session 4, and once you have decided on your 4 pillars, we're going to take a look at what is, first off, recession-proof marketing. I have the whole class on what is recession-proof marketing. And then we roll you into, based off of what you have decided you want to do as one of your pillars, we're going to give you everything from good, better, best to knock it out of the park. So if you want to work, if you decided that working first-time home buyers is a hot button for you, perfect. We're going to make sure that you know how to find renters. We're going to make sure you know how to ask your SOI. Who do you know that's currently renting that might want to attend a home buyer workshop that I do? Those home buyer workshops, again, I did them for years. I loved them. We're going to make sure you know the pros, the cons, the do's, the don'ts of a home buyer workshop if you had decided that first-time home buyers specifically is one of your niches. If it's not, you don't need to attend that. The next one down is on geo-farming. If you've decided that one of your pillars you want to do geo-farming, great, but there are 3 components in the geo-farm. Quit sending the wrong message to the wrong target. You have the homeowners, you have the absentee owners, and you have the renters in there. So again, it's not just sending it so you want to sell your house, postcard out to a geo farm. Send the right message to the right target. What is the number that you need to have? What's the longevity that needs to be done with it? And we talk about all of that in the various sessions. Again, it's all pre-recorded, but I also have it rotating up on the Thursday class as well. If you decide that open houses, that you want to use open houses as one of your pillars, you don't just show up, stick a sign out front and hope somebody shows up. There is good, better, best. And now we have the better than best, knock it out of the park and create a talking house that goes with it. Yes, we show you how to do everything. If one of the components, the 4 pillars that you want to put into place, is for sale by owners, I paid $1,500 for this session a couple years back. I will hand you the handouts and the messaging and the everything that goes with a for sale by owner, coming at it from a different approach. All right. Next one down. If you decide that you want to do a vendor fair, whether it be a vendor fair, a bridal fair, a trade show, even at an RV sales place, we give you the pros and cons, the do's and don'ts of doing vendor fairs. If you come and decide that you want to do senior move down, then we're going to make sure that you know how to identify who those are, how to run a specific search to get them, and build that out with the right message, the right target. Investors, the same thing. Sellers workshops, absentee owners, all of those are specialties that come based off what you have decided one of your pillars is needing to be. All right, you got that down. Next, in 14 in our list of our learning trails is the DISC. It is important and valuable for you to understand just a little bit about the 4 personality styles that go into the DISC platform. That's the D, the I, the S, and the C. I Those classes right now are still up in Samson University for you if you want to dive into them. But again, make sure you are ready to dive into them. I've been a certified DISC instructor for God knows how long, and there is some takeaways I give you, not only understanding in part 1 what your style is, but also where that creates your blind spot based off where you're the weaker component of it. But then part 2 of DISC is understanding what the style of your consumer is based off a couple of things that they may say or do or write in an email. That'll be your trigger to go, oh, okay, I bet they're this because of this. And you now understand it at a deeper level. We have a class on know your numbers. Holy smokes. Just because you have a transaction that pays you $10,000 does not mean you got to go spend 12. And that's what a lot of agents have done. So in the know your numbers, we go through all the things of the numbers that you need to know to operate your business. The next one is business planning and breaking it down into quarterly. I'm gonna wave away from annual goals. I want quarterly goals. We can stay focused better and adjust if we need to at a quicker rate. All right. One of the next sessions in our learning trails is realtor safety. Realtor safety, in our opinion, is non-negotiable. And the number of agents that, not knowing, put themselves into harm's way, when I stop and think about it, scares me to no end. So yes, there is a pre-recorded realtor safety video that's currently sitting in Samson University. You can go watch it anytime you want, but it's in, I think, 3 or 4 sections. One is, we give you things to be aware of and things to do and things not to do. In the second session, I think we've got Lisa, who was a retired police officer, share some insight as well. The next section, we have a guest from Damsels in Defense, talk about various tools that are available. And then in session 4, we actually had Tony, who is a self-defense instructor at the police academy, show you that if you are jumped or grabbed or pinned down, how to get out of it. And again, it's brilliant. All right, next thing down, because again, we want to keep you safe. One of the next things down, and again, I think I've moved this one back higher up on the list, but it's marketing trends and contract trends. I've been doing this heavy at many of our HQDUs. It's how to take the contract and the marketing trends. If you're with Samson, you get that Tuesday email with the contract trends. And then on Friday's weekend update that Donnie does, you get the market trends. And we show you how to take 2 or 3 talking points that you're able to run with. So when somebody says, so how's the market doing? You're not standing going, I don't know, I don't pay attention. Okay. Because you've looked at the numbers, you're able to say, I'm glad you asked, because I track these numbers on a weekly basis. And what we're seeing is boom, boom, boom. We're handing it to you on a silver platter. You don't have to go research them and run it yourself. Okay. So have those talking points as well. Another component that we have as we wind down the major heavy hitters is what's on my bookshelf. Because I'll tell you, there's a lot of really good books and podcasts and stuff that's out there. It is really easy to get sucked down a rabbit hole into stuff that you don't need right now. So in many of my sessions, I have tried to offer a book that has been a benefit and useful to me that ties into the topic of whatever that session is. That will allow you to, if you need that extra, fine tuning on that one, it's just going to give you some ideas of books that are out there. And again, it's only a small sampling of some of the great stuff that's out there. I know that holidays are going to be like a couple months away. And if you got someone going, Well, what do you want for Christmas or what do you want for your birthday? If you got a birthday coming up, give them a list of the books. Tell them you want them. Now, once you're done reading them, most of mine look like a coloring book now because every time I've read them, I've gone back with a different color highlighter and marked stuff. So that way I know it's there were some aha takeaways in there. But what I like to do and what I recommend you do is to have your top 5 or 10 books that are the most touching to your soul. And yes, if you want to put the Bible on there, you are certainly welcome to have the Bible on that stack as well. But I have 5 straight ahead of me. So when I look up, I see those 5 right there. I have another 5 over here. So when I look this way, I've got those. All I have to do is see the title of that book and pause for a second, and the reticular activator goes into play, and it sends me subliminally, if you will, kind of back the message of what that book had to say. So that is the benefit of having them, but keeping 5 to 10 literally in eye shot of wherever you do most of your work. That is going to help immensely as well. Okay, so that is I'm going to say the basics of our learning trails. There is a reason they are put in the order in which they are. Now, I'm going to do a screen share real quick. So let me make sure this is going to jump over. Come on, wakey, wakey. It's thinking. It's thinking. It is thinking. Okay. All right. So I'm hoping that you are able to see. Give me a thumbs up if you are able to see my website on the screen right now. Okay. That's what it told me. All right. So right now, my website is going to be your best friend. My website is just like the Bull Trails. It is my first name, my last name, .samsonproperties.net. So it's Lynn Hamilton .samsonproperties.net. Now, what you will see on mine is I have a tab that's called Agent Resource Center. That is where everything is getting put right now. You have your bonus handouts. Again, those will be merged over into each session. Common mistakes agents make, those are the videos. How-to instructions, those are either a handout and or a quick video to show you how to do whatever it is you're needing to make sure you know how to do, whether it be create a QR code from QR Code Monkey to, there's a million, not a million, but a handful of things on there. They're the most commonly asked. How do I do that? There you go. All right. The next field component down, tab down, is learning trails. When you click on your learning trails, this is what we're very excited about. And hopefully the screen has rolled over. Here is your suggested order to take them in. There is the class topic. There is the handout. And there's the video link. All right there. So you all should be able to go in and walk methodically through each one, each one, each one. Now, if you have not started on these yet, I would recommend the next time you go to the store, grab yourself a 3-ring binder, about 2-inch. Don't do any bigger because it gets bulky. You can do a separate one if you need to, but a 2-inch binder. And as you print out each session, put it in your binder. That way you are customizing your training manual, if you will. And it also shows, and it also, the worksheets in there are designed for you to check off the tasks once they've been done. Okay. So there's the handout, there's the play the video, and it goes all the way through. Now, the next component over under the Agent Resource Center, it says listen and learn. That is where I try to pull our Thursday sessions if you've missed them, because I know we got a lot of dual career agents. That is where those are going to be housed under the listen and learn. There you go. Easy as can be. Again, these will be mirrored with or attached to so that they'll be available either place of the Cardinal Nest on my education tab on my page there, and or they will be available here on my site as well. Okay, so there you have it. So with that, I want to go take a peek at our, let me stop my share, stop share. We're all going to come back. I'm going to jump over to the chat box. Tell me, what do you think? Do you like this concept of a methodical step-by-step process of putting everything together in a methodical order so that you can work through it step by step by step by step and not having to start to do something, find out you don't know what you're doing, and then you got to backtrack and try to figure it out when you're in panic mode and everybody else is on vacation or they're snowed in or they're shut down. See, there's a reason for asking all of those pieces of the puzzle to be mapped out and to be put in place. So, okay, so we got that, we got that, we got that, we got that. Learning trails, thank you. What books would you recommend starting with? The first one is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And that we cover in Jumpstart Session 2. The reason for that one is one of the key reasons I see agents fall apart in this industry is because they have a case of stinky thinking, and sometimes they don't even know it, and or they have someone around them that has a case of stinky thinking. And I learned a long time ago, I have seen great people and potentially great agents come in the front door and out the back because they could not get their stinky thinking in check, or they didn't know what to do and how to handle those that are around them that have a case of stinky thinking. So I tell you, in fact, that's what our 2:30 class this afternoon is going to be on. You know, the mindset that'll kill you in this business. And I will not, take out a spouse. Yes, I've been asked. I'm sure it was joking, but yeah, no, can't do that. But that's a good place to start because this business is like a roller coaster. Highs are highs, lows are lows. And I was talking to a friend of mine in California last night, and she was saying that she was just overwhelmed. She was overwhelmed. She was overwhelmed. And I said, stop it. I don't want to hear you say that again because I'm going to start charging you $5 for every time you say that. Why? Because the minute it comes out of your mouth, it goes back into your brain 10,000 times on automatic replay. And so, yeah, it's going to work you all up that you're overwhelmed. And yeah, stop saying, you know what? I have a lot on my plate, but I have skills and experience. I can handle this. This is why in Jumpstart Session 1, one of the things I introduce you to is being the PPS, the professional problem solver. I used to have on my name badge, my sign, my business cards, my email signature, everything. I was their advocate, their consultant, and their PPS. And yes, it was a great conversation starter because they will ask, so what's the PPS? I'm glad you asked. My job is to be the professional problem solver because that is all a transaction is a series of little problems that need to be checked off and taken care of. So that would be one of the first books I would get and kind of indulge in. And again, these are all quick read stuff, but yeah, that would be one. Okay. All right, my friends, that winds up our time for today. This is the Learning Trails, walking you through one step at a time, using the analogy of the puzzle, because as you, again, jumpstart 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the foundation of your and your frame around your puzzle. As you decide which pieces need to go in, you're able to put them in order so that you can complete that puzzle. If not, you got pieces missing. And as much as I would love to be there for everyone to handhold you through every single step of your building your business, fortunately or unfortunately, we need to do some of it by video training, because there's no way that I can herd cats and get to every office on a regular basis to take you from one step into the other. So I'm going to ask you to meet me halfway. Learn to enjoy the videos as well. Pretend like I'm sitting there with you, and we've tried to make them fun and entertaining as well. And with that, my friends, I don't care what you know. I want to know what you're doing with what you know. So I'm going to let you go because I'm going to download this, get it ready to be uploaded, and I will be back in about 30 minutes for our next session this afternoon. And in the next session coming up, we're going to be talking about the mindset that's going to kill your business. All right, my friends, thank you so much, and I will see you real soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.